Hi, and welcome to Ladies of Another View. I'm back, and we have a full house today. We are joined by Jan, Andrea, and who's on the end? Jan, why don't you tell us?
This is Cara Jahner with 180 Health System in Bismarck and Mandan.
Hello. I'm so glad that you ladies asked me to join.
We have lots of things that we want to kind of pick your brain on and learn from you, but we first need to know, how did you become involved with 180 Health Solutions?
So, as some of you might know, I'm a family nurse practitioner. I was a nurse prior to going to nurse practitioner school, and the reason why I did that is I just really wanted to help people. I wanted to help people in being involved in their restoring their health, right? And I didn't feel like I had that much say in it as a nurse, so that's why I went back to school. So I was working for some of the local hospitals, and I realized that I wasn't able to make the impact as what I wanted to, and so I was kind of unhappy in the traditional healthcare model because I didn't feel I was making an impact in their life like I wanted to. So actually, I found and met Dr. Steve Nagel, the owner of 180 Health Solutions and chiropractor. He had inflammation talk, and I actually went for my husband who had some like rheumatoid arthritis symptoms, a lot of joint pain. And I said, you know, this is very interesting. And so I was, during that talk, I was just like sitting at the edge of my seat. I'm like, yes, yes, yes. And so like the rest is history. I'm like, I can help you. And yes, so it's been great. I actually got let go of my job at the hospital during the beginning of COVID. And so it went from, oh no, what do I do? And actually it was one of those God-given moments, like if you're not gonna close the door that's not supposed to be for you, for yourself, I'm gonna do it for you. And so I actually met him 2 months, Dr. Steve, 2 months before my position was like, you know, terminated, or not terminated, but my position was no longer there. So.
Cara, I have
Yes.
a question I would like to know. Let's go to the basics first. What is a nurse practitioner and what is 180 Health Solutions?
Yeah, so I'm a family nurse practitioner. I was once a nurse, and so I take the place of like a primary provider for a lot of people, and I could do that like working in the hospital. And actually, nurse practitioners support a lot of primary locations, like out of Maine, like in rural areas. Nurse practitioners are basically the infrastructure of healthcare in small towns. However, at 180 Health Solutions, we are a restorative health clinic. So Dr. Steve is a chiropractor, and I am the nurse practitioner there. And so I work on, you know, health restoration more from ground level up. I see people and try to restore their health, and I can use my skills and I can prescribe medications as a nurse practitioner, so I can help manage like blood pressure medications and diabetic medications as people are restoring their health, and thyroid medications. I do that quite often while people are on their health journey, so to help manage their symptoms. So I see kind of, I can be walking the line between traditional and more restorative. So, yeah. Whereas, you know, as Dr. Steve, he's a chiropractor, he can adjust, but he can't manage medications.
I don't want to hog all the questions, but I want to ask one more. Because you mentioned inflammation.
Yes.
And I know whenever you talk about health and wellness, a lot of times inflammation is often the root cause of a lot of problems. And so that caught my attention that is what got you interested in this.
100%.
Tell us what's going on with inflammation in the human body.
Yeah, so inflammation is a way for the body to tell you that something isn't right. I always like to think of health as like a pendulum, right? And our body wants to be in a state of homeostasis, meaning our body wants to be at the state of what is good and what is health, what is our body is optimized and working appropriately, right? And so when we deviate from that, it's usually because of inflammation. And inflammation, the Wellness Way, I should back up and say, you know, 180 Health Solutions is a Wellness Way affiliate. So we are an affiliate of a larger organization of chiropractors from the Wellness Way. They are based out of Green Bay. Anyway, inflammation is what can cause a lot of stress on the body. And the Wellness Way has, we have like kind of a mantra that we talk about of inflammation is the 3 T's: thoughts, traumas, and toxins. So we can get, like, those are the things that we encompass on a everyday life: mental, emotional stress. The toxins we put in our body, whether it's what we eat, the pollution, you know, the smoke that's in the air right now, that's all toxic to our body, right? The chemicals that we put on our face, and trauma, anything that is not supporting alignment of the spine and the nervous system. So those, everything can be, that we encompass on a day-to-day basis, can be put in what we call the 3 T's: thoughts, traumas, and toxins, and that's the basis of what is inflammatory to the body.
So I encouraged, I won't say made, but I encouraged my husband to also seek information and kind of go on a health journey of his own, because his situation was similar to the one you were describing with your husband.
Yes.
It's like, you know, the knee hurts, should I go get it replaced or fixed or whatever?
Yep.
And through his journey, I even learned more about mine, and I kind of had started mine a little bit earlier. But most people don't recognize that inflammation isn't because you bumped something or
Yes.
whatever. It could, and it's not necessarily because you used it all your life. My husband just kept thinking that,
Yep.
you know, I've been up and down a ladder, I've been kneeling on the concrete, I've been doing these things, so that's why my knee hurts.
Yep.
When all along it was inside, and it was things he was taking in.
Yep.
Most people don't realize.
Well, and same thing
Jan,
with
you
my
mentioned-
husband. Yeah.
I think you mentioned at a previous show that your husband did not get his knee replaced.
Correct.
But that was the expectation, and I think some of his siblings got their knees replaced, and it's all about inflammation. So I think that's pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
It-
Well,
it
same
is.
thing with my husband. You know, when I started, he was 32 years old, right? And we kept on going to rheumatologist after rheumatologist, and they said, well, we don't know if you have rheumatoid arthritis, which rheumatoid arthritis is an autoimmune condition where the joints are being attacked by the body's immune system, right? So they said, well, we don't know if you have an autoimmune issue, but it probably is, so you might as well just take medications. And we're talking about huge, like, immune system modulating drugs, and expensive ones. And so, like, you're telling me that my only option is medication, that's my only option, and you don't even know if this is it. And so after working with Dr. Steve, and we evaluated those 3 T's: thoughts, traumas, toxins. He did his food allergy testing, and he found out that he was allergic to eggs and dairy. He cut those out of his diet, and because he was at the point where he was almost having to quit his job at Bobcat because he couldn't walk up and down the stairs of the Bobcat anymore. And we were like, what are we gonna do? Like, a 32-year-old has to go on disability. And now when he can manage his stress or manage his inflammation with those 3 T's, right? And bring the body back to, like I always called true north, right? Homeostasis, and he can manage his symptoms.
Wow, that is very dramatic. We're going to talk more about health and inflammation and fertility
Yep.
and other issues related to health and wellness when we come back with Ladies of Another View on BEK.
Respect, innovation, trust, and excellence. These core values can be seen in every building built by Straightway Construction. In the community for over 15 years, Straightway Construction has become the premier construction company for commercial projects. From dirt to design and framing to finish, Straightway Construction is your #1 choice. You won't have to look far to find a project that has that Straightway touch. Call them today or go online to straightwayconstruction.com and let them make your vision a reality.
I'm Rick Becker from No Apologies. Welcome to your after hours oasis of sanity. Watch us weeknights at 9 Central on BEK News and online at BEK.news.
Hi, I'm Dennis Haugen, along with my sons Andy and Mike, and we're showing our support for wind energy in North Dakota. Wind energy has provided farmers like us with a steady stream of income that's not tied to the weather like crops and cattle are.
Another bonus is that wind farm owners are required to maintain the roads leading up to the turbines. Because of that, oftentimes these roads are the best in the county.
Wind energy is good for landowners, it's good for the land, it's good for our economy, and it's good for North Dakota.
Hey everybody, I'm Doug Billings, your host of The Right Side with Doug Billings on BEK News. We bring you high-profile guests, ladies and gentlemen, exclusive guests. Now, you're not going to see these guests in most of the mainstream media outlets. Another thing that I do here is give guests a platform to speak freely. You're not going to see me censor anybody. Please join us, won't you? Weeknights right here on BEK TV and online at BEK.news. Cheers.
Pub 21, your one stop for fun, drinks, and food. Our spacious facility provides COVID-safe fun for you and all your friends. With nightly bingo and specials, you can be sure there's something to do for everyone. If you're staying in for the night, we've got you covered just across the way with Pub 21 Liquor. We have a wide variety of options, from wine to whiskey and everything in between. Stop in today at 1014 South 12th Street in Bismarck to see what all the buzz is about. You won't be disappointed.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
Hi, welcome back to Ladies of Another View on BEK, and we are once again joined with Cara Jahner, who is a nurse practitioner with 180 Health Solutions in Mandan.
Yes.
Great place. I know a lot of our hosts go there, but I also want to talk about things that everybody can benefit from. You know, just how health and wellness can take away your need for medication, right?
Yes. Yep. So I see lots of men and women, but particularly I am, it's kind of funny, fond of the women. I really, I like working with women because I feel like I can understand them. I've walked through a lot of the same situations that they have, and same thing with like fertility and hormones because I've had my own journey with that, and so I feel like I can really dive deep and help them walk through that process. So
you in your own situation, you were struggling with regular medical advice.
Yep.
And, you know, the family was starting to grow, but it kind of wasn't.
Yeah. So actually February of last year, I had a miscarriage, and it was devastating. And I was pretty much told by the, you know, traditional healthcare community, well, it's common, so don't worry about it. Just go home and, you know, take a few days off of work, and then it just picked back up. And I'm like, you are confusing, or, you know, they said it's normal or whatever. And I said, you're confusing common and normal, right? And I'm like, no. That's terrible advice. And I felt like I wasn't being heard. Nobody cared about my feelings, and nobody ever, like they told me over, like, I'm pretty sure, like the texting over the computer.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was.
Here you go.
Yeah, it was. And then I got pregnant about 2 months after that, and I started bleeding around the four week mark, and I'm like, seriously, this is where I'm going again. And so I went in, I had all of the workup, and they said, well, you had one miscarriage, you're probably gonna have another one. Again, don't worry about it. It's normal. You know, it's common, whatever, you know, it's no. And I'm like, you're telling me just to go home and just twiddle my thumbs and toes, and that's what it is. Like, yeah, you don't need to come back unless we know that you're miscarrying or hemorrhaging, like diffusely bleeding, or if we know that you have a viable pregnancy. And so from that day on, it's been my personal mission to never have any woman that comes in to contact me ever have that feeling ever again that I did. Yeah.
But you did have some good news through all of that.
So I, at that time, I newly started at 180 Health Solutions. So I, really immersed with, the stuff that I didn't learn in nurse practitioner school about how to actually take care of yourself, what to do to rebuild up. Like I was, and I'm not dogging the traditional healthcare, but because they don't know any different, right? Their perspective is of that. I had to learn a different perspective with the Wellness Way, with talking with Dr. Steve, and I had to do a lot of my own research in order to what the body actually needs. I understood pathophysiology, but I didn't know how to help it other than by manipulating it with drugs and surgery.
So, we often hear with the Wellness Way, the fireman versus the carpenter. Can you explain that to folks?
Yes. So I love the fireman and the carpenter approach because it really gives people a big overview about what we actually do. So, as the traditional healthcare, I'll use myself as an example. You go in, you're bleeding, you put out the fire, right? You say you're diffusely bleeding and maybe say you have fibroids, right? They say, well, you can have an ablation, which is surgery, right? Or you can be put on birth control. And I'm saying, so they put out the fire, right? They took care of the situation. However, but now the birth control is giving you drugs every single day to keep the issue from coming back, right? So that's the fireman approach. They put out the fire, and then now they're gonna just drip faucet on your body every single day, on your house every single day, so that the problem doesn't come back. Where me, I come in and I'm like, man, this house is a disaster. These fibroids, I mean, this is not good. So I want to clean up the house, clean up the body, so that the issue doesn't come back. So I'm a carpenter. I restore health. I restore the body so that we don't have to, I rebuild up so that we don't need the firemen. But it's nice that they're there if we need them. So
what are some of the things I would like to give to our audience who are watching? Because not everybody is necessarily going to go into 180 Health Solutions, which is great if you do. But what are some of the things that you changed in your life that increased your health?
Yeah, so I'll use my, when I was going through that time where I was in the vulnerable spot of, I was bleeding. I had a subchorionic hemorrhage, which means that the embryo that was implanted in the uterus was broken off just a little bit. And so the area that was the scar in the uterus was bleeding. And so I did what I researched and did what I could to rebuild my lining of my uterus. So I took progesterone, and I don't recommend anybody to do this if they don't know, what they're healing, but I did things that heal the body and rebuild tissues. So I took bone broth, I took vitamin C, I took collagen, all those things that help rebuild the body back up. I made sure I got tested and made sure I knew what the 3 T's, right? I knew what things were causing inflammation in my body. I knew what foods that my body didn't like. So I took those out of my diet, and I made sure that my mental, emotional was in check. So the 3 T's. So I worked through those with myself and Dr. Steve to maintain healing in my body.
Did you carry that pregnancy then?
I did.
And I think we have a picture of your little family.
Yes, I have a beautiful little girl. Her name is Olivia, and she's now 7 months old.
Yay.
Yep.
I love happy endings.
Mm-hmm.
So amazing.
Yep.
Well, the other thing that I've heard a lot at Wellness Way is the Swiss watch principle.
Yes.
When I think of a Swiss watch, I think of all the gears going together, but how do you?
We have a diagram for that too. You can tell us. What does this mean?
So I love the Swiss watch approach because, even people, Jan, you probably, oh, sorry.
And we have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Oh. Okay, so Jan, you probably know this better than anybody, but when we're talking, you can see my gears going.
Yes.
And you can see that I am really thinking about all of these things. It's like, well, they have issues with their immune system, and they have stress on their spine because of an injury that they had. And so what this is saying, and then, because of the stress of the spine, they're now having digestive issues because of that. So this is like, I'm going through and I'm ticking off these systems in my head, and one little peg is off, it can throw off the entire watch.
That makes sense. I like that visual because, you know, they do all go together. You can't have everything working right except one.
Yes. Yeah.
One
So
cog.
I see it quite often. I'll use headaches as a really good example. And even myself, when my upper neck is out of place, my first symptom is I have really bad headaches, and that actually happened this weekend because with the situation, I have not been able to be adjusted in a couple of weeks from Dr. Steve. I've been out of town, he's been out of town, whatever. And so I've now been turning my head and getting dizzy episodes.
Okay, yeah,
And
so you need to really pay attention to
and now my ears are plugged because if your upper neck is out of line, your ears can't drain appropriately.
Wow. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
You can't just have one
So
little
that's-
thing wrong, because then you're going to have everything wrong.
Yep.
It's gonna be a domino effect. We're going to talk some more about. We're actually going to talk about women and men differences.
Yep.
That there's a different approach to health sometimes. When we get back with Ladies of Another View on Beck.
Jeez, what a mess. Look at that. There's roof stuff everywhere. It's so embarrassing. Ruins the neighborhood. Come on, humans. Let's get this fixed.
Don't let your roof go to the dogs. Call America's Best Contractors for your free estimate.
Need a new woof?
After checking with the rest, go with the best. America's Best Contractors. 258-2412. Online at americasbestcontractorsincorporated.com.
Go for Launch 2018 series winner. Without further ado, it is my honors. Regiment. The winning team is the Flumen River Excellence.
Oh my God!
They won!
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and I'm coming to you with the most important commercial that I've ever done. All of you know what MyPillow and myself have gone through in the last 5 months in my efforts to bring the truth forward. Well, it's all come down to this. I'm having a cyber symposium on August 10th, 11th, and 12th. This historical event will be live streamed 72 hours straight on my new platform, frankspeech.com. You can help by getting everybody you know to go to frankspeech.com now. To help support this Cyber Symposium event, I am offering some of the best prices ever on my pillow products, but they're only offered at frankspeech.com. Go to frankspeech.com now and use the promo code on your screen or call the 1-800 number below to receive these exclusive MyPillow offers. Thank you and God bless.
Ever been in a cave before?
It's our first time.
All right.
Where are you going?
I'll see you at the car! How will we? The car! Your offer has been accepted. Ever bought a house before?
It's our first time.
All right.
Where are you going?
I'll see you at the closing. But how will we? The closing!
From Lambeau Field to your living room. Catch all the Green Bay Packers preseason games exclusively on Beck Sports. Available on KRDK, KNDB, or KNDM TV and online at Beck.Sports. The Pack take on the Houston Texans August 14th, followed by the New York Jets August 21st, and end off the preseason with the Buffalo Bills August 28th. Check Beck.Sports to find more scheduling and local channel information.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View on Back, and we are once again joined by Cara Jahner. She's actually going to stay the whole show, because we're going to talk about women in stress. The next segment is going to be a little more fun. We're going to talk about men and women differences, and we have gotten a man. It took us a while to find one, but he's going to come in and join us for that segment.
Brave dude.
I don't know who we cornered this plan.
Yeah.
Threats.
It wasn't easy, trust me, but he's agreed to do it, and we appreciate that. We're going to talk about stress right now, this segment, because do women take on more stress than men? And Andrea, I want to just use her as an example because I so admire her. She has so many different hats. She's homeschooling, she has kids at home, she works, I don't know how many hours, you teach, and you come in here. But you never seem stressful.
I don't seem stressful. I have no stress. Cara. Do you believe me?
So I see women all of the time that say, I don't have any stress. I manage it very well. I don't feel stressed, because everybody has an idea in their head of what stress is supposed to look like. Like people think like, oh, they're wigged out and running around and crying all the time or whatever. No. Oftentimes, stress for women comes out in physical symptoms. Their body is telling them that something isn't right. And we need to really be attuned into what your body is telling us. And it takes somebody almost to call them out, because I see all the time, I'm not stressed, I'm not stressed. It's like, actually, you are. Either your labs are telling me otherwise, or what your stress hormones are saying, or what your thyroid is saying, or how much stomach acid you're producing, because oftentimes in stressful situations, your body is like, ooh, am I supposed to be running for my life right now? Because I don't really know what's going on, because our brain is so still reptile in that fact, and it doesn't understand that you just had a very stressful day and you're late and you're actually not running for your life. It doesn't know the difference. So it shuts down your stomach acid production, because you're not supposed to be eating, right? You're not supposed to be digesting your food. You're running, right? And so then women are like, I'm constipated. I has like heartburn, because they have no stomach acid to digest their food.
And people are mistakenly think that if they have heartburn, it's because they have too much stomach acid. So they're popping Tums and antacids and stuff. That actually makes it worse, does it not?
It makes it worse, because if you think about it, our stomach is actually a decontamination tank, right? Everything that comes in, your body is supposed to not only digest it, but for the microbes that we eat, the bacteria that we eat, the acid kills it. So if you do not have acid, that's how overgrowths happen, that's how yeast overgrowths happen, that's how the bad bugs grow. And actually in only a small percentage of the population, it's too much stomach acid. It's most often than not, it's the stomach is irritated, and then the acid is being pushed back up.
Oh, this is making me stressed just hearing about all this. Well, what do we do then? Okay, we got a busy life, we got this going on and that. It's not a food solution. You can't say eat a salad. That'll get rid of your stress. What do you do?
So the first thing is acknowledging that you have the stress, because if you don't acknowledge it, then you can't help it, right? And then the second thing is women need to ask for help. Women need to ask for help. Women need to fill their own cup up. I always give the analogy of like the vase, right? If you do not fill up your own cup with things that you love, things that like taking time out to read a book or whatever, you have no water to give to anybody else of your vase. You're constantly pouring it out, your vase is going to be empty pretty soon. And so actually that is why because seeing women every day who I was able to help them physically, but I had roadblocks because I couldn't figure out how to help them in the realm of the stress and the mental emotional support. So my friend and I were actually talking about this. One of my best friends, she's actually a podiatrist. So she is, frontline healthcare worker also, like facing burnout herself. And we're like, we need to help women. We need to figure out what can we do to empower women to not only heal physically, but emotionally and spiritually also. So we actually started a business. It's called Rise and Restore. And the purpose of it is to host women's wellness retreats, day-long events and weekend-long events where people can come and relax and give them the tools to what they need to heal in all of those realms, like with yoga and community and all of those different healing modalities.
It's called Rise and Restore,
Rise
right?
and
You have a
Restore.
Facebook page,
Yes.
am I correct?
Yep.
And that's a good way for people to keep in touch and know when you have the next retreat coming up this fall.
Yep. Our first retreat is coming up. It's still tentative, but fall of 2021. Yep, it's going to be a day event.
So long term, you see this growing into something else. Am I correct?
Oh, yeah. Long term, like I'm a mover and a shaker, man. Long term, I see this going into like weekend long events, like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then maybe even in the future, it could be week events, and maybe even creating our own space to host these events, because it's very hard to find the space that is grounding and is healing in North Dakota, because it's for us and any healers, they can tell you that it's encompassing all the elements: fire, water, air, ground, trees, all of those, nature, right? And so, Bismarck is kind of lacking the trees.
To segue into what our next segment is going to be about, we're talking about women and stress.
Yep.
Do men not get as stressed as women do?
Actually, that is very true. Men have a different brain structure than women do, and it's how men's hormones are and how females' hormones are. Women's hormones are very cyclical, like around our menstrual cycle, and that changes our hormones and changes our thoughts. Where men are pretty steady state, and which makes them really great. The testosterone makes them hyper-focused and can get things done, and they are very focused on task-oriented. Where women, we tend to have a lot of tabs open in our brain, and that in turn causes more stress. But it is honestly a physiological difference between males and females that's unmistakable. So.
Well, I listened to Dr. Patrick Flynn's hormone
Yes.
talk when he was here for the Health Summit last year.
Yes.
By the way, get your tickets. It's coming up soon.
Yes.
And there was something that he said, and I immediately had my husband go and watch it online, because he said, if you can understand how she thinks, and you understand the stresses that she undertakes, and this isn't about being selfish at all.
Yep.
It's like if you can make sure that your wife or your girlfriend or your sister, whoever's in your life, has less stress, you will see a change in the whole relationship. It will make both of your lives better, and I can say that it worked for us.
No,
Big time.
100%. And like Dr. Flynn says it the best is women perceive like issues and perceive things that aren't even real. Like sometimes we just make up stuff, like, and it spirals. Like my husband didn't take out the.
Don't tell our husbands that.
Well, no, but this
This
is good for our husbands to be aware, because then they can send their wives on the women's wellness retreat.
Oh, there you
the
go.
Rise and Restore retreat. So all you men, that's how you can help your wife.
There you go.
We want to talk about male and female differences, and we're going to need a man to do that. Otherwise, it's going to be like we're a bunch of bullies, right? So
yes,
we have a man who's going to join us coming up right after these messages with Ladies of Another View on Beck.
Since opening in Hebron in 1940, Dakota Community Bank and Trust has been your hometown bank. Our mission has been to provide modern banking convenience with old-fashioned hometown service. We've grown with the communities we serve through year-round events, countless sponsorships, and nearly 7,000 hours of volunteering each year. Learn more about our 80-year history at dakotacommunitybank.com.
Hop in the rig and go down the road with me. We'll cover local and national stories that impact you. Down the Road with Joel Heitkamp weekdays at 5:30 Central on Beck News and online at beck.news.
respect, innovation, trust, and excellence. These core values can be seen in every building built by Straightway Construction. In the community for over 15 years, Straightway Construction has become the premier construction company for commercial projects. From dirt to design and framing to finish, Straightway Construction is your #1 choice. You won't have to look far to find a project that has that Straightway touch. Call them today or go online to straightwayconstruction.com and let them make your vision a reality.
Jeez, what a mess. Look at that. There's roof stuff everywhere. It's so embarrassing. Ruins the neighborhood. Come on, humans. Let's get this fixed.
Don't let your roof go to the dogs. Call America's Best Contractors for your free estimate.
Need a new woof?
After checking with the rest, go with the best. America's Best Contractors. 258-2412. Online at americasbestcontractorsincorporated.com.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of MyPillow. Thanks to your support, you've helped make MyPillow become one of the fastest growing companies in America. Over the last 12 years, you've helped MyPillow create thousands of jobs right here in the USA.
When I got MyPillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
That's why I invented MyPillow. My patented fill adjusts to your exact individual needs and helps keep your neck supported and aligned. I'm interrupting this commercial right now. Retailers have canceled MyPillow, and to thank you for your support, I'm gonna pass the savings directly on to you. Go to MyPillow.com right now to get deep discounts on all MyPillow products. For example, you can get my premium MyPillows, regularly $69.98, now just $29.98, the lowest price ever.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit mypillow.com.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View. I'm back, and we found a man.
Andrea, you changed.
He's not duct taped to his chair, but we're not sure if we should have done that.
I don't know either. Don't know either.
Kevin is the Care Solutions Manager here at BEK.
Yes.
And you know about solutions.
Some, yes, I do.
Do you know about male-female solutions?
I've been married for 39 years, so
okay.
I think I do. I think I do.
We might have an expert.
Uh-oh.
We'll see. We'll find out because we have some questions for you later.
Okay.
But first, let's take a look at this short video clip.
And so there's times when Kathy and I will be like, in the car driving, like, we're going somewhere, out to eat or maybe driving to a show. And, and I'm just kind of shut down. I'm just kind of, doing the drive. And all of a sudden, something hits her and she just turns and goes, "Honey, what are you thinking?" And how many of you guys know the answer? Shout it out to me. What are you thinking? Nothing. You think we're lying. I swear we're not lying. We can actually think of nothing. It's God's gift. It's called testosterone poisoning. Did you know that the chemical wash of testosterone actually kills some brain cells? It's true. And I was like, "What do you think?" I'm like, "Oh, God, you scared me. I forgot you were in the car. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, wave your hand or something." Golly. Oh.
Are men's and women's different? Do they have different brains, do you think?
They sure do.
I would absolutely agree with that.
After 39 years of marriage, do you think you and your wife think differently?
Well, I want to preface this by saying it's been the best 39 years of my
of
life.
course. Good call, good call.
Yes. Yeah, I would agree with that.
What are some differences? I want to reference the book quite a few years ago, Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus.
Oh, yeah.
My husband and I thought that was so funny, but it's helpful because there were things he was doing that I thought were inconsiderate and based on him, and I realized, oh, it's just a man thing. Like if women are mad about something, they want to talk about it, and men just want to go to sleep. They want to go to their cave and go to sleep, and nothing personal, but it's a male-female difference. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that, and I've seen that more recently since our youngest son and his sweetheart are going to have a baby. So I'm seeing more of that type of interaction between them than I will admit that I have within my own life. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense. It shows that you are good at care solutions because you're noticing something that maybe not all men would notice.
That's the first step in solving, finding a problem, is realizing that you realizing it.
Yeah.
But isn't there there's a better and a worse time of day for men and women to speak to one another? Like I find that, my husband is already tuned in to what he's going to do for the day, and if I want to bring up something in the morning, it's not necessarily the time to do it. And not as he's nodding off to sleep either, but the evening is a better time.
Because there's actually a physiological reason for that. So men's testosterone is the highest in the morning, and testosterone is the focuser. It's the male dominant hormone, right? It's what gets them, it's what can cause aggression. It's what causes pure focus, right? And so they get up in the morning, they're like, what's their number one focus? I gotta get to work. Money making, right? And so when you talk about Dr. Patrick Flynn, he always talks about this. It's like, women, do not tell your husband to take the trash out in the morning, because unless you hold their hand and say, honey, please take out the trash. Can you look at me and repeat that back to me? They will not listen to you.
Gotta say copy.
And then women, we're different because all day, we're going, and then they didn't take the trash out. Well, are they mad at me? What's going on? Are they deliberately trying to do this? And then we work ourselves up, and then we've had a terrible day, and then really what? And then come home and it's like, what's your deal?
Yeah. And you've stewed over it for 8 hours.
And then we're angry.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you walk in the door after you come home from work, and we're
hi,
like,
honey.
Honey, I'm home, and it's,
sit down.
Yes.
Supper's
and
ready.
as well, females have testosterone. It is not to the point that males do, and so when we talk about physiological differences, it's hormonal related. I always call the hormone soup dance.
Soup dance.
Okay, Kevin, I would like to know, I've read that men are more laser focused, women's brain are all over the place, kind of like spaghetti. Your brain is the meatball, you're all contained and you're thinking and focused. And that was one of the things that I used to think if I was trying to talk to my husband and he was doing something, I thought he was being rude to me, that he couldn't listen because I listen to him when I'm doing something. But then I found out it's a male-female difference. Have you experienced that?
Well, I have, but it seems like more often than not, what happens is I am thinking about something, and then there's another stimulus. My sweetheart might ask about this or about that, and I'm not prepared for that and not ready to get into some type of a lengthy conversation about it because I don't know if I'm going to have the answer that she's going to want to hear at that time. Does that make sense?
It's funny because when you talk about having the answer, that's another thing that women, oftentimes they just want to talk, and men want to find solutions.
Yes.
And you're
obviously in the best role ever.
You can't help yourself. Yeah.
Who do I feel outnumbered right now? My goodness.
I think that there's a lot of people out there that, they've been confused for so long. They come home, like we said before, and things don't match up. But then how do you kind of dissolve the tension?
So my life is a lot different than maybe some of my friends. And people don't believe this when we tell them this, but my wife and I have never had an argument.
Okay.
I know.
Come on, how could that be?
Okay, I'll give you her phone number. We have never had an argument. There's times when I know that I'm not number one on her list, okay? And there's times where I'm scratching my head with maybe what she's doing, but it never escalates to a point where it's an argument.
Yeah.
We've been together for 41 years, and we're very proud of that fact.
Yeah.
So the relationship that we have, or the understanding, or the way that we communicate might be different than some people. Marcy, my wife knows me, I know her. we have a way of communicating that allows us to have an exchange, and then even if we don't agree 100% with each other, leave it at that and maybe pick it up later on and come back to it. And I think there's a real danger of pigeonholing people into certain categories. And it's one thing if we're joking about, well, women always do this, and certainly guys know enough of those things that girls always do, my goodness. Like using the wrong tool or not putting the tools back for the whatever is being done. But I think there's a danger in maybe being too serious about pigeonholing people into things like that.
But I have to think that that's probably not the normal in society. But that's wonderful.
My normal.
That's wonderful.
my
That is
normal.
wonderful.
Yeah.
I feel like we have a blockbuster guest here today.
Yes.
I've never heard of this before, and we discovered you.
But I think that I think it comes down to what you said is you seem to took the time to master communication. It seems it all comes down to learning how to communicate with somebody and learning but yes, we shouldn't pigeonhole people, but there are certain things that men do because of testosterone and women do because of the estrogen and things like that. And so understanding that and how you might have to tweak your communication a little bit differently. And I think that's
Yeah, I get that. You know, there's some things, when I get ready to go to bed at night, you know, you go through the normal routine of cleaning up and all the rest of the stuff. You go in there, and I'm one of those guys that's blessed with being able to get to sleep in 10 minutes, okay? My wife likes to lay in bed, and she sits there and she reads the Kindle until like 12 o'clock. And to me, that would just keep my brain going, and I couldn't do that. I need to be able to flip that switch so that tomorrow I'm ready to go. I don't know if that is with the way other guys are wired or how that works, but I can't do that.
We're going to find out more about how you're wired, Kevin, because this is amazing that you and your spouse have not had a fight the entire marriage. What, 41 years, did you say?
Well, we've been together for 41. We've been married for 39.
Okay, we're going to find out more about the secrets of Kevin Lech when we come back with Ladies of Another View on Beck.
Maybe you should have her on. Did that steer you way off course?
Respect, innovation, trust, and excellence. These core values can be seen in every building built by Straightway Construction. In the community for over 15 years, Straightway Construction has become the premier construction company for commercial projects. From dirt to design and framing to finish, Straightway Construction is your #1 choice. You won't have to look far to find a project that has that Straightway touch. Call them today or go online to straightwayconstruction.com and let them make your vision a reality.
Deciding how to promote your business can be hard. Visit the professionals at Dakota Promotions and Printing and let them help you through your struggle. Dakota Promotions provides promotional items and apparel, from corporate gifts to team shirts and everything in between. With quick turnaround times and friendly service, they are your best choice. And best yet, you're shopping local. Visit them online at dakotapromo.com or stop in their showroom at 320 West Main in Mandan. Dakota Promotions, delivering promotions just for you.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. The first night you sleep on my sheets, you'll never want to sleep on anything else.
Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen right now to get your very own MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets. When you buy one set of sheets, you'll get another set absolutely free.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
Every great pizza has a secret. At New York To Go, that secret lies in our perfectly recreated New York water, the key ingredient to making our signature New York-style pizza. We also feature gyros, with the region's only gyro meat spit, plus Nathan's hot dogs, calzones, and our delicious jumbo buffalo wings. Try a 14-inch or our special giant 20-inch pizza tonight. You gotta know how to fold them if you want to hold them. New York To Go, we deliver for you.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Arrow Service Team does it all.
I'm Rick Becker from No Apologies. Welcome to your after hours oasis of sanity. How can these people not see that they're just clowns?
We help simplify and educate you on things going on in the legislature and around the country.
Asking the hard-hitting questions.
But also having Lee Stack and Sid and Marty Croft stuff, and we've talked about that sometimes. It's bad.
Watch us weeknights at 9 Central on Beck News and online at beck.news.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View on Beck. And we started out talking about men are from Mars and women are from Venus with Kevin Lech, who is the Care Solutions Manager here at Beck. We grabbed him. His office is the closest to the studio.
Yes.
And
So he
got dragged in
represents
here.
the male figures today.
We need a man. We can't talk
Sorry,
about men.
guys. I hope I'm doing a good job here.
I don't know. You're putting the bar awful high right now because you've never
You're
had
gonna get
an
some calls
argument.
from men. Just kidding.
Well,
Send them to Derek.
I was explaining during the break, it's like my husband and I, we never let things build up until the blow up. We maybe do more bickering and figure out a resolution to what we're talking about. But you were saying that there's some people that don't talk at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then what?
Mm-hmm. And then that even makes the communication even break down even poor. Like you say, you have, it seems like what you say, you mastered how to communicate so it doesn't lead to those blow up situations, right?
I would agree, yes.
Yeah, and so and that's hard. But I would like to talk to you, like when you were first starting your marriage, and like how you came to like understand those nuances of your wife, and like
Ooh, that's
when
a long time ago.
you know, because just as like what women don't understand is, and what a lot of men don't understand is, society teaches us that our emotions have to be even keel. And if you aren't, you're emotionally unstable, right? And so, oh man, I'm a little bit moody. I cried at this commercial. I might need an antidepressant, right? But really, that's how women are wired. Our hormones make us a little bit more irritable at different times in our period and make us like more energetic than other times. Our sex drive is better at some times, and that's just how we are wired. That's how our hormones are. And it can make hard times in marriage because either the husband is like, well, they're not interested in me, you know, or they're, you know, or the woman's like, well, I'm crying at this commercial. I might need to go get on an antidepressant. But really, if they looked, you know, it's in every, you know, week, your hormones are changing. They go up and down depending on what your hormones are doing, and that's okay.
What I liked about what you said, Kevin, is you figured it out. You're kind of observing things. And our kids said that we were kind of like a Molotov cocktail, our two personalities. We figured it out later, you know, after a few years of dysfunction. But we figured it out that to back off, like arguing isn't going to get you anywhere. That's not the solution. And you didn't take it personal.
Right.
And that's why we started out this segment talking about male and female differences. We don't always understand each other, but you never took it personal. I want to look at just a couple funny memes that talk about that male-female difference. All right, I love this. I'll be ready in 5 minutes, so men will complain about women that, you know, but it means exactly the same thing as a man saying, I'll be home in 5 minutes.
True.
Okay? Yeah, okay. All right, Kevin. You like that one. We got a couple more. When women pack and men pack.
Oh,
right?
this is my husband and I.
This, 100%.
Yeah.
Would you
Yes.
agree?
Yes.
Okay, all right. That's 100% here we got on that one. And one
It,
more.
it depends on what we're packing for, though.
Okay, fair
too.
enough.
Okay, I'm going to split a hair
Fishing
there.
or- yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, when a man tells a story, when a woman tells a story.
Well, yes, because we have to bring every detail into it from some other experience.
I
of course.
accidentally tell the punchline before.
My sister, God bless her, she tells stories, and they are so large and encompassing that I don't know how most of the time people can absorb all of that. And her son says to her, "Mom, land the plane."
I love that.
Well, I know that when my grandson describes the last dream he had before he woke up, it's a concise story, but not my granddaughter's. It goes off this way and off this way, and I think they add things to it. Just waking thoughts with it.
Yep.
Pretty succinct.
Yeah, and I don't really know how we got to the point where we communicate the way we do. We had great examples, her parents, my parents, our grandparents. And, you know, I think all of those things are contributing factors.
It just came naturally.
It did.
I
We're
think
very blessed, very lucky.
And what is your wife's name?
Marcy.
Marcy. So I think we need to have Kevin and Marcy on together.
Yes.
And find out, how did this happen that you two never had a fight? That's pretty amazing.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's more than just a male-female
She might be tougher to convince than I was.
Oh my gosh. It took me all day to convince you. It started out with phone calls and
Stalking, I think, is more accurate. But
Stalking.
Stalking. I think it was your duty, Kevin, to represent your sex.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It's your calling.
Okay, good.
We needed a good male example, and you turned out to be even better than we expected.
Oh,
yes.
Yes.
Very good.
Yeah, so this has been a lot of fun today.
I think so.
Very good.
Thank you for coming in. You didn't run away, and we're at the end of the show now.
I didn't.
You made it, Kevin.
Because fear is a powerful emotion, that's for sure. So.
It is.
And it's not, and it's not just a male or female. So
And
thank you
to
for joining
Cara,
us today.
too.
Yes.
Thank you both, Cara and Kevin, and join us again next time. And coming up next is Joel Heitkamp with Down the Road with Joel Heitkamp. With Ladies of Another View, I'm Beck.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of MyPillow. Just like you, I had problems sleeping. I tried every pillow out there and nothing worked. 15 years ago, I invented MyPillow. It took me 2 years to develop because I wanted to have everything you would ever want in a pillow. I made sure that you could adjust my patented fill so you could have the exact support you need as an individual regardless of your sleep position. I also wanted a pillow that would last, so I made MyPillow machine washable and dryable. I back MyPillow with a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. Not only that, I do all my own manufacturing in my home state of Minnesota.
I really like the fact that it was made in the USA. I think that USA products are a better quality product. I've tried a lot of other pillows and nothing's worked like MyPillow.
I'm interrupting this commercial right now. Retailers have canceled MyPillow, and to thank you for your support, I'm gonna pass the savings directly on to you. For example, you get my 6-piece towel sets, regular $109.99, now only $44.98, or MyPillow dog beds for as low as $19.99 with your promo code.
I used to think that sheets were just sheets. I got the Giza Dream sheets. They are the most comfortable sheets I've ever had.
The Go Anywhere pillow is so easy to just roll up and take anywhere I want to go.
Go Anywhere pillow is really comfortable, so that's what I really like. It's nice and supportive and it's nice and small.
The MyPillow topper, for the first time, has enabled me to have a cool night's sleep. I'm able to go to bed and just get rest.
That's 3 inches of wonderful that's in the MyPillow mattress topper. It's just like a firm cloud.
MyPillow helps me get a good night's sleep so I can do my job in the morning.
Go to MyPillow.com to get deep discounts, not just on my pillows, but so much more. For example, you get my 6-piece towel sets, regular $109.99, now only $44.98, or MyPillow dog beds for as low as $19.99 with your promo code.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.